Okay, so remember the van's broken. They're trying to find something to do. The guy at the repair shop said the radiator was cracked and it was going to take at least 4 or 5 hours to fix it. That means we need to find something to do for the rest of the day. When we stepped outside, I was pretty shocked to find out we were only 2 blocks away from Soak Central, which is where I wanted to go in the first place. I begged Mom to let us go there while we were waiting for the van to get fixed. She said she'd rather we did something wholesome, like go to a local library, but this time she was outvoted 4-1. So we walked to Soak Central and paid for tickets at the gate. Then we got a locker and put all of our stuff that we didn't want to get wet. We changed into our bathing suits and met outside the restrooms. It was super crowded, and there was no way we were going to find 5 lounge chairs all together. But eventually, we found one chair that had a few broken straps and dumped our towels and the rest of the stuff on it. Mom and Dad stayed back with Manny, so me and Roderick were on our own, but Mom said she wanted us two to stick together. We went into the giant wave pool, but there were a billion people in it. Roderick suggested we play hide and seek, but with all the people and rafts in the pool, I knew it would be impossible for the seeker to find the hider. Mrs. Kneifel gets freaked out in wave pools because there's like people and germs, and I'm not a big water park fan, fun fact. I said it to make it fair, the hider couldn't swim underwater. I didn't really trust Roderick not to cheat, but he came up with this way to make sure the hider followed the rules. Roderick got a paper placemat from the snack bar and said the hider had to keep it dry to prove he didn't go underwater. And I have to admit, I was pretty impressed he came up with that on his own. I volunteered to be the first hider and found a spot at the far end of the pool where I knew Roderick would have trouble finding me. What I didn't know was that Roderick had written something on the placemat before giving it to me. Unfortunately, everyone around me noticed before I did. What he wrote would have been bad enough on its own, but he misspelled word how somehow made it worse. I'm not wearing a bathing suit. So he's holding up this sign in a giant pool full of people. So people are like, get away from me. And if no one's buying, then guess what? It's going to be easy for the seeker to find him. So silly. I feel like I'm missing some peeps in Mrs. Jones's class, even though, let me double check. Let me double check. Okay, maybe not. All right. And even more embarrassing was when the lifeguard got down from her chair and told me to get out of the pool. When it comes to Roderick, I've got to learn never to trust him, especially at water parks. Obviously, was he wearing a bathing suit? Yeah. I was done with Roderick after the placemat thing and didn't care if Mom said we needed to stick together. I left him behind and went to a water slide all by myself. I hadn't realized how long the line was until I had gotten halfway up the stairs. By then, there were a ton of people behind me, and there was no turning back. So I packed in with these people until I got to the top. That doesn't look like a very fun line to be standing in. It was really hot, and people were starting to get agitated by how slow the line was moving. Then the kid right in front of me poked the lady, then the kid right behind me poked the lady in front of me in the butt with a pool noodle, and she thought it was me. So then I had her boyfriend to deal with. I really didn't want to get in a fight over something like this, but luckily it didn't come to that. We were at the top of the stairs and it was time to go down the slide. Unfortunately, the raft was a 4-seater, which made things pretty awkward on the ride down. The slide emptied out into an area where there were a ton of rafts, which was great because it gave me a chance to hide from that woman and her boyfriend. I went around the lazy river twice to make sure I'd lost them. I'd had enough with water after that, so I went back to the lounge chair to get my clothes. So he wanted to go to this water park so bad. It's all he wanted to do. He thought it sounded like so much fun. Is he having a good time? No, it doesn't really seem like he's having that much fun. But the chair was gone and all of our stuff was lying in a pile on the ground. I found the rest of our family at the snack bar getting lunch and told them what happened to our lounge chair. Mom said it wouldn't be hard to figure out who took it because of the broken straps. We spread out to look for it, and I searched the area by the wave pool. Sure enough, our lounge chair was there, but I couldn't believe who was sitting on it. I don't know what the odds are of running into the same people again and again, but this was starting to get ridiculous. Tell me in the chat who is sitting on the chair. Yes, Landon, you are correct. That weird family from the hotel, the Beardos, is what he called them. So he's ran into them again. And first off, I don't know why they're looking for this chair because they don't own the chair. It's the water park's chair. Even though someone did take it from them, I'd just go find a new chair. You can't be like, oh, you took my chair that I don't own. That's weird or silly. I figured it was best to just let the Beardos have our lounge chair and not make it into a big deal. And when I caught back up with my family, I pretended I didn't have any luck finding our chair. By now, our food was getting cold and we still didn't have anywhere to eat. Eventually, we found a place to sit behind the snack bar. Everyone seemed ready to leave after that. Mom asked for the key to the locker so she could get all our stuff, but I told her I didn't have it. She said she had given me the key, but I turned out both pockets of my bathing suit inside out to prove they were empty. I was pretty sure she'd given the key to Roderick, but he didn't have it either. Everybody searched themselves for the key, but we came up empty handed. This was a huge problem because mom and dad's cell phones and wallet were in that locker, so we couldn't leave until it was found. We went to the employee at the front counter and told him we'd lost our key. But when he asked for our locker number none of us could remember. There were hundreds of them and they all looked exactly the same. So seems a little bit problematic, okay? Because I'm sure if you lose your locker key, the employees at a water park probably have a way to open up the locker, no big deal. But like they probably have a master key, but if you don't know what locker it is, how the heck are they supposed to know which one to open? He said the locker number was written on the key, but of course that information wasn't getting us anywhere. The guy said the only thing we could do was try and find the key. So we split up and retraced our steps across the water park. Roderick went to the wave pool where we played hide and seek and I went to the lazy river but didn't have any luck. When we went back up, nobody had found the key. Mom said maybe we accidentally threw it away after we ate, so we dug through the trash near where we sat. Mom said we should all concentrate real hard and try to remember which locker we put our stuff in, and when I did, I could suddenly see it clearly in my mind. I told Mom, and we went straight to locker 929. Sure enough, it was locked, and there was no key in the door. We went back to the guy at the counter to tell him which locker it ours, but we had to wait for a long time before we could get his attention. When we told him our locker number, he got out a master key and walked over to number 229 with us. By the time we got there, the key was back in the slot and the locker was empty. That meant someone had found our key and stolen all our stuff. Then I thought of another possibility. When the Beardos took our lounge chair, they must have taken our key too. I decided to tell Mom and Dad about the Beardos and how they probably stole our stuff to get some payback on me. Then I took them to the area where I last saw them sitting. By the time we got there, they were gone. Okay, so Mom and Dad's cell phones and wallets have now been stolen, apparently. That's a problem. I was worried they might have left the park, so I ran to the front gate, and sure enough, a purple van was pulling away. I knew that family was bad news from the beginning, but I never thought they were capable of theft. Oh, you guys have pictures now? Which means we'll have pictures soon too. So we'll just call it a day on this for now. So we will end on page 180. If you're not going to pictures, you may read for AR. Bye, picture people. We're going to end it here today. We'll end here. You guys can read for AR the rest of the time. You're hungry?